Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. Today you're about to uncover a coin story that's truly fascinating, one that could turn your ordinary pocket change into a life-changing discovery. Stick with us, because we're diving deep into the mystery and magic of the 1961 Lincoln penny, a coin that might just be worth far more than 1 cent now. This isn't just any Lincoln penny. It's a coin that, on the surface, looks like the countless others you've seen your entire life. But under the right conditions, with the right eye, and a bit of luck, the 1961 Lincoln 1-cent coin can be a treasure beyond imagination. And yes, we're going to talk about the specific features that transform this copper beauty into a collector's dream. Let's go back for a second. The year is 1961. America is at the dawn of a new era. John F. Kennedy just became president, the space race is in full swing, and pennies were still being struck in 95% copper. That's right. This coin comes from a time when pennies actually had metal value. The Lincoln cent in 1961 was designed by Victor David Brenner, featuring Abraham Lincoln's bust on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1909. Now, what makes this particular year stand out? It's not just the age or copper content. What collectors and experts are hunting for are the unique minting errors and rare variations that occurred during production at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Some of these rare 1961 pennies have doubled die errors, especially visible in the date, and the letters I in God We Trust or Liberty. These doubled features are the result of the die striking the coin more than once, misaligned, and believe it or not, they can skyrocket the value of a single penny. But that's not all. Some 1961 Lincoln cents also show off-center strikes, die cracks, or even repunched mint marks in the Denver mint issues, where a tiny D under the date tells you it was minted in Denver. If you find a 1961 penny with a mint mark that appears doubled or oddly shaped, don't dismiss it. It might be a repunched mint mark, which collectors go crazy for. Another unique and super desirable version is a 1961 penny in high-grade condition, meaning it has almost no wear and still shines like it was just minted. If it has full red color and zero contact marks under magnification, then congratulations, you're looking at something truly rare. Think about this. Millions of these pennies were minted, yes. But how many survived in pristine condition? How many carry those rare errors? Very few. That's why collectors search tirelessly, hoping to add a gem like this to their collection. For coin lovers, this is what it's all about: the thrill of the hunt, the discovery, and the history in your hand. So if you ever come across a 1961 Lincoln penny in your change, don't overlook it. Examine it carefully. Get a magnifying glass. Look for doubling, shine, mint marks, and any signs of error. Because tucked away in this tiny coin is a massive opportunity, one that could turn a penny into a jaw-dropping reward. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the value. A rare 1961 Lincoln penny with the right combination of errors, pristine red condition, and historical rarity has already sold at auction for an incredible $125,000. Keep your eyes open, because the next one might just be in your pocket. Top 2. You might be walking around with history in your pocket, and you don't even know it yet. Imagine finding a coin that's been quietly sitting in your change jar for decades, only to discover it could be worth a fortune. That's exactly the story behind one of the most mysterious and exciting pennies from American coinage, the 1968 Lincoln 1-cent coin. Yes, you heard that right, a simple penny from 1968. But this is not just any ordinary coin. What we're about to tell you will open your eyes to a world where small details can lead to massive rewards, and coin lovers, collectors, and treasure hunters have their sights set on this exact year. Let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1968 Lincoln cent first. Here's a little historical context. In 1968, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While millions were struck that year, only a handful carry the specific traits and hidden details that make them truly special and highly valuable. The design, still honoring Abraham Lincoln, hadn't changed much since 1909, but the secrets lie beneath the surface. One of the key things that collectors look for in 1968 pennies is the rare doubled die variety. Imagine the letters or numbers on the coin, especially in Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date itself, appearing slightly doubled, almost like a shadow behind the original. That's not a trick of the eye. That's a genuine mint error, known as a double die obverse, and it can add extraordinary value to an otherwise ordinary coin. But the story doesn't end there. Some 1968 Lincoln cents from the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S under the date, are especially sought after, particularly when they show proof-like quality or mirror-finish strikes, even if they weren't meant to be proofs. Then you have coins with repunched mint marks, where the little s or d appears to have been stamped more than once, a result of human error that today collectors absolutely love. Another variety that has stunned collectors includes off-center strikes, where the image and text of the coin are visibly shifted, sometimes as much as 10 to 20%. That kind of error makes each coin completely unique, and coin enthusiasts around the world consider those to be one-of-a-kind treasures. And here's where it gets really exciting. The condition of the coin makes all the difference. A 1968 penny found in mint state condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher, with strong red luster and no blemishes, is extremely rare. You see, over the years, most coins get damaged, scratched, or discolored. But if you happen to come across one that's been perfectly preserved, you might be holding a golden opportunity. Collectors don't just want the coin, they want the story, the uniqueness, the perfect storm of history, rarity, and eye appeal. That's what makes a 1968 Lincoln penny more than just a coin. It becomes a legend in your collection. And who wouldn't want to be the one who discovered it? So the next time you see a penny, especially one from 1968, don't toss it aside. Look closely. Examine the date, the lettering, the mint mark, and the condition. You might be staring at something incredibly rare, a coin that could change your entire perception of what a penny can be. And now, for the part you've been waiting for, a rare 1968 Lincoln cent with high-grade quality, specific mint errors, and collector-level condition has been valued at an astonishing $110,000. Yes, a single cent, worth more than most luxury cars. So take a second look at your change. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Top 3. What if I told you that one of the most valuable coins in American history could be sitting quietly in your coin jar, lost among ordinary pennies? It might sound unbelievable, but today we're revealing the incredible story behind the 1971 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks common on the surface. But in certain rare forms, it's anything but ordinary. Don't scroll away, because the details we're about to uncover could turn your next penny into a collector's jackpot. This is a video you'll want to listen to very carefully, especially if you're a coin lover, treasure hunter, or just someone who enjoys the thrill of discovery. Now, let's go back to the year 1971. The United States Mint was busy producing billions of Lincoln cents, most of them made from a 95% copper alloy. That year, pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but not all of them were created equally. Hidden among these coins are some of the rarest, most valuable error varieties that collectors dream of finding. So, what makes the 1971 penny special? Let's talk about one of the biggest factors: double die errors. These happen during the minting process when the coin's design is struck more than once slightly out of alignment. The result? You might see doubling in the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or even the date 1971 itself. These double-die pennies from 1971 are extremely rare, and they've been known to sell for massive amounts, especially when they're in mint-state condition. But wait, there's more. Some 1971 Lincoln pennies from the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S beneath the date, were intended as proof coins. But occasionally, a proof die or an unusual strike pattern ends up in regular circulation, giving the coin a sharp, mirror-like finish. These high-detail coins are incredibly rare in the wild, and collectors pay top dollar for them. Now let's talk about another type of rarity: repunched mint marks. On some 1971 pennies, particularly from Denver and San Francisco, the mint mark was accidentally punched more than once. This tiny error, barely visible without magnification, becomes a golden ticket in the eyes of a collector. If you spot one of these, especially in high-grade condition, you could be holding something truly special. Other errors that make 1971 Lincoln pennies valuable include off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets, all of which make the coin visibly different from the norm. These mistakes, caused during the fast-paced minting process, result in unique coins that are one of a kind. For collectors, uniqueness is everything, and that's where true value lies. Now imagine a 1971 penny that not only has one of these rare errors but is also in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, still showing that bright red copper glow, no scratches, and strong definition in the details. That's the kind of coin that sends shivers down the spine of every serious collector. So here's the bottom line: not every 1971 penny is worth a fortune, but the rare ones with mint errors, sharp conditions, and specific characteristics absolutely are. If you're someone who loves coins, this is the kind of treasure you dream about. The thrill isn't just in the value, it's in the hunt. Now, let's reveal the stunning truth. A rare 1971 Lincoln penny, with the right combination of error, condition, and collector appeal, has been sold for an extraordinary amount, a total of $95,000. Keep your eyes on your change, because you never know when a simple penny might turn out to be a priceless piece of American history. Top 4. Have you ever held a penny and wondered if it could be worth more than just 1 cent? What if that tiny coin in your palm was secretly a rare collectible, a piece of American history that could earn you thousands of dollars? Well, today we're diving into one such coin, the 1978 Lincoln penny. And believe me, this is no ordinary piece of copper. You'll want to listen closely, because by the end of this video, you might be heading straight for your change jar to look for this exact coin. The 1978 Lincoln penny may look like a common coin at first glance, but some of them carry hidden details that set them apart in a big way. In fact, a rare version of this coin has stunned collectors and made headlines in the numismatic world. How? Through a perfect storm of errors, condition, and scarcity, and we're going to break it all down for you right now. Let's start with the basics. The 1978 Lincoln cent was struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S, mainly for proof coins. All of them carry the familiar design by Victor David Brenner, showing Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But in the world of coin collecting, it's not the design that sets value, it's the flaws. That's right. The most valuable 1978 pennies are the ones with minting errors, and these are no ordinary mistakes. Some of the most sought after include double die obverse errors, where the date, the word liberty, or even I in God we trust appear slightly doubled. These doubling effects happen during the minting process when the coin die struck the coin more than once without perfect alignment. The result? A small, almost invisible error to the average person, but a goldmine for collectors. Other valuable errors include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. Even more rare are the clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's edge is literally missing due to a blanking machine error. Then there are die cracks and struck-through errors, which give each coin a one-of-a-kind appearance. These are the coins that auction houses and serious collectors keep a close eye on. But the story doesn't end with errors. Condition plays a huge role. Most 1978 pennies have been through decades of circulation, scratched, discolored, and worn out. But once in a while, someone finds one in mint state condition, with that original reddish copper shine, sharp details, and not a scratch in sight. These coins, especially when graded MS65 or higher, become instant collectibles. Now combine a rare mint error with mint state quality, and you've got a coin that turns heads in the numismatic world. So here's a message to all the collectors out there, whether you're new to coin hunting or a seasoned expert. The The 1978 Lincoln penny might seem like a basic coin, but the rare ones are out there. They're hiding in drawers, tucked in change piles, waiting to be found by someone who knows what to look for. Maybe that someone is you. Examine every detail. Use a magnifying glass. Study the lettering, the date, the mint mark, and the coin's color. Because if you come across the right combination, you won't just be holding a penny, you'll be holding a treasure. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, a rare 1978 Lincoln penny, with specific mint errors and preserved in high-grade condition, has been known to sell for as much as $68,000. That's right, from 1 cent to a small fortune. Keep searching, and your next great discovery could be just one coin away. Top 5. You might think a penny from 1981 is just pocket change, something to toss in a jar or slide across a counter. But what if I told you that one of these pennies, hiding in plain sight, could actually be a small fortune? Yes, a simple Lincoln cent from 1981 has the potential to surprise collectors and even change someone's life. So don't blink, this is a story you'll want to hear from beginning to end. The year 1981 might not sound historic at first, but for coin collectors, it holds some fascinating secrets. The Lincoln penny, featuring the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, was still being struck in a copper alloy, just before the U.S. Mint made a major change in 1982, switching to zinc cores due to rising metal costs. That makes the 1981 penny one of the last in its kind. But it's not just the metal that gives it value. What collectors are hunting for are the rare errors and perfect conditions that transform a basic coin into a true gem. Let's talk about what makes certain 1981 Lincoln cents so special. First, one of the most valuable versions is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions like "I in God we trust," "Liberty," or even the date 1981 appear doubled due to a die misalignment during minting. It's a subtle error, sometimes visible only under magnification, but for collectors, it's a jackpot. These double details are rare and highly desirable. Then there's the repunched mint mark, or RPM, found mostly on coins from the Denver Mint, marked with a small d below the date. In some cases, the mint mark was punched more than once, creating a shadow or overlapping effect. This variety is uncommon and always catches the attention of serious collectors. And we can't forget the proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. These were specially struck with higher detail and mirror-like surfaces. But every so often, a proof coin or a high-grade specimen makes it out into regular circulation, and if one of these survives in pristine condition, its value skyrockets. Other rare errors from 1981 include off-center strikes, die breaks, and clipped planchets, all mistakes that make the coin unique. These aren't just flaws, they are rare minting moments frozen in time, each telling a story that turns a simple coin into something truly collectible. But error alone isn't enough. Condition is key. A coin must be in exceptional shape, bright red luster, no visible wear, strong details, to qualify as truly valuable. Coins that have been preserved for over 40 years in near-perfect mint state condition are already rare. Combine that with a striking error, and you've got a piece that collectors would fight over at auction, and that's where the magic of coin collecting comes alive. It's not just about value, it's about the hunt, the history, the possibility of discovering something remarkable in the most unexpected place. Whether you're new to collecting or a seasoned enthusiast, the 1981 Lincoln penny deserves a closer look. So the next time you get change at the store, don't overlook the pennies. Look for the year, examine the mint mark, check for doubling or any odd details. Because that tiny coin in your palm might just be hiding something incredible. And now, here's the number you've been waiting for. One extremely rare 1981 Lincoln penny, with the right error and preserved in flawless condition, has sold at auction for a breathtaking total of $52,000. That's right, from 1 cent to tens of thousands. Keep hunting, because your next lucky find could be just one coin away. Top 6. It might just look like an old copper coin, worn by time, passed from pocket to pocket, but the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny holds more history, mystery, and potential value than most people realize. And today, You're going to find out why this particular coin has collectors all over the world paying close attention. So listen closely, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this tiny 1-cent coin could be one of the biggest discoveries in your change jar. Let's rewind to the year 1945. The Second World War was nearing its end. Across the United States, industries were shifting, materials were being rationed, and coins, believe it or not, were being affected by it all. The U.S. Mint continued producing Lincoln wheat pennies, but copper was a precious metal at the time, heavily used for war supplies. Most 1945 pennies were made from a bronze alloy, about 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. They were struck in enormous quantities at 3 mints: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. But what makes this coin stand out from the billions made that year is not how many were produced, but how few rare errors were created and survived. That's right, the real value of the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny lies in rarity, condition, and error varieties. Let's break it down. Point 1: of the most sought-after errors in 1945 pennies is the doubled die, where the design elements like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date 1945 appear doubled due to a slight misalignment in the minting process. These doubling effects are extremely rare and can only be spotted with careful examination, but when found, they make a huge difference in value. Another high-value variation involves the off-metal strikes. Occasionally, a 1945 penny was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for another coin, like a silver dime or a steel cent leftover from 1943. These rare, off-metal error coins are few and far between, but they're real, and they've turned up in private collections and auctions, shocking even the experts. You might also find 1945 wheat pennies with die cracks, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, all of which increase the coin's uniqueness and appeal. A small defect to the average eye becomes a golden opportunity to a collector. Now let's talk about the most important factor of all: condition. A typical 1945 penny found in circulation today is brown, worn, and full of scratches. But a small number have survived in mint state red condition, untouched by time, with their original copper glow. Combine that flawless appearance with a rare mint error, and you've got something every collector dreams of owning. The wheat reverse on these coins, with the 2 stylized ears of wheat curving along the sides, gives them their iconic nickname. For collectors, a perfect 1945 wheat penny is more than a coin. It's a time capsule, a piece of American history, and a symbol of the post-war era. So if you ever come across a 1945 penny, don't toss it aside. Look carefully. Study the date, the mint mark, the edges, and the surface. Even the smallest detail might reveal you're holding something rare, something valuable, something unforgettable. And now, here's the moment collectors wait for. A rare 1945 Lincoln wheat penny, with the perfect blend of error, condition, and scarcity, has sold for the stunning sum of $175,000. That's right, from 1 cent to 6 figures. Keep searching, collectors, because history might just be hiding in your pocket. Top 7. A penny from 1950, just 1 cent seems simple, right? A tiny piece of copper that's been passed through thousands of hands, slipped into vending machines, forgotten in drawers, and buried deep in dusty coin jars. But what if I told you that this particular coin, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, is not always what it seems? What if one of these innocent-looking coins could actually be hiding a secret that makes it worth a fortune? Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history, the 1950 Lincoln wheat cent. And let me tell you, this is more than just a coin. It's a story, a mystery, and a potential treasure that might be sitting in your collection or hiding in your change jar right now. So if you're a coin collector, a history lover, or someone who enjoys the thrill of discovery, stay with me until the very end. Because this journey through copper and time could leave you holding the key to something extremely rare. Let's go back to 1950, a year marked by post-war optimism, classic cars, booming jukeboxes, and the golden age of American coinage. The Lincoln wheat penny, introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was still going strong. The reverse design still featured the classic two wheat ears, gracefully curving around the words 1 cent and United States of America, a design that had captured the hearts of Americans for decades. That year, the U.S. Mint struck the 1950 penny at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D; and San Francisco, with an S. While tens of millions were made, only a small fraction have survived in collectible condition, and even fewer have the specific traits that drive their value into the stratosphere. Now, let's talk about what makes some 1950 Lincoln wheat cents extremely valuable. It's not just age, it's rarity, errors, and condition. First up, double die errors. These are among the most desirable and expensive types of minting mistakes. In some rare 1950 wheat pennies, doubling can be seen in the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. These doubled features were created when the coin die struck the same spot twice at slightly different angles, resulting in a noticeable ghost or shadow image. To the trained eye, this is numismatic gold. Next, let's explore repunched mint marks, also known as RPMs. During the 1950s, mint marks were hand-punched into the dies, meaning human error was always possible. Some 1950D or 1950S pennies show clear signs of having the mint mark punched more than once in slightly different locations. These are subtle, often requiring magnification, but highly prized by collectors. Then there are the off-center strikes. Imagine a coin that was not centered correctly during minting. Part of the design is missing, and part of the coin is blank. The more extreme the off-center error, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still fully visible. Even rarer are coins struck on the wrong planchet. In very unusual cases, a 1950 Lincoln cent was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a dime or a foreign coin. These errors are incredibly scarce and always turn heads at coin shows and auctions. We also can't ignore die cracks, die clashes, and struck-through errors, where foreign materials like grease or fabric fibers interfere with the minting process. These strange imperfections are like fingerprints. No two are exactly alike, which makes each coin completely unique. But none of these errors would matter without one more essential ingredient: condition. Most 1950 wheat pennies have spent decades in circulation. They've been scraped, scratched, and oxidized, turning brown or dull red. But once in a great while, a 1950 penny is found in mint state red condition, bright, glossy, and flawless, just as it looked the day it was minted. These are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and when combined with a major error, they become absolute treasures. Now let's think about this from a collector's perspective. Imagine finding a 1950 wheat penny with a bold doubled die, a strong repunched mint mark, or an off-metal strike, preserved in glowing red mint state condition. That coin isn't just a collectible, it's an artifact, a conversation piece, a historical prize that every coin enthusiast dreams about. And here's where the excitement builds. Because believe it or not, one such example, a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, with a rare error and near-perfect condition, has shocked the collecting world by selling for an astonishing sum. Take another look at your pennies. Dig through that old coin box. Examine every detail of your 1950 wheat cents: the date, the mint mark, the edges, the color, the weight. What may seem like a simple old coin could actually be the rarest find of your life. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, one exceptionally rare 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, featuring a significant mint error and preserved in pristine red uncirculated condition, has been sold for a breathtaking total of $150,000. Yes, you heard that right. From just 1 cent to $150,000. That's the magic of coins. Keep collecting, keep looking, and you just might be the next one to uncover a hidden gem. Top 8. It's small. It's copper. And it says just one word that millions of people see every single day: 1 cent. But what if I told you that a tiny coin minted in the year 1951, a simple Lincoln wheat penny, could secretly be hiding a story so rare, so valuable, that it's turning heads at auctions and shocking even the most seasoned coin collectors? Yes, you heard that right. This is not just another old penny from your pocket change. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny has a few surprises that have made it one of the most exciting discoveries in the world of rare coins. So make sure you watch and listen closely, because if you have a 1951 penny in your collection, you might be holding on to a piece of hidden treasure. Let's start by traveling back in time. The year is 1951. The world is recovering after World War II, the Cold War is starting to take shape, and the American economy is booming. Among all the things being produced that year, the U.S. Mint was hard at work making one of the most iconic coins in American history. The Lincoln Wheat cent. On the obverse of the coin, you have the legendary profile of Abraham Lincoln, the same portrait we've seen since 1909. On the reverse, the beautiful and classic wheat design, two sheaves of wheat wrapping around the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. It's simple, elegant, and timeless. Now, in 1951, these pennies were minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver marked with a D, and San Francisco with an S. In total, hundreds of millions of these coins were made. So, naturally, you might wonder, how could something so common become so incredibly rare? The answer lies in 3 powerful words: condition, error, and uniqueness. Let's begin with errors. That's where the magic begins. Some 1951 pennies were struck with doubled dies, meaning that elements on the coin like the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust, appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die process. These are not everyday mistakes. They are dramatic, bold, and extremely collectible. Then there's the repunched mint mark, or RPM. Back in the early 1950s, mint marks were added to coin dies by hand. That means some coins show clear evidence of the mint mark being punched more than once in slightly different positions. These varieties can dramatically increase the value of the coin if spotted. You also have off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting, leaving part of the design missing. The more off-center it is, while still showing the full date, the more valuable it becomes. But there's more. A few extremely rare examples of 1951 wheat pennies have even been discovered struck on foreign planchets, meaning the coin was accidentally struck on metal blanks intended for coins from other countries. These are almost impossible to find, but when you do, they can be worth a small fortune. Let's not forget die cracks, cut breaks, and struck through errors, where foreign objects like grease or cloth fibers interfere with the coin's design. These kinds of minting mishaps may seem like flaws, but to collectors, they are treasure marks, signs that the coin is something truly unique. And now we come to the second key factor: condition. Most 1951 Lincoln Wheat pennies you'll find today are brown, worn down, and heavily circulated. But once in a great while, a coin is discovered in brilliant red mint state condition, the kind of shine and luster it had the moment it left the U.S. Mint over 70 years ago. These coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and anything above MS 65, that's mint state 65, is considered premium. If you combine that with one of the errors we just talked about, you don't just have a nice coin, you have a jackpot. And here's the final ingredient: uniqueness. Every error penny is different. Each strike, misprint, or minting flaw makes that coin a one-of-a-kind piece of American history. That's why collectors are willing to pay huge amounts to add these rare varieties to their collections. It's not just about the copper. It's about the story. So whether you're a casual coin enthusiast or a dedicated collector, don't overlook that 1951 penny sitting in your drawer. Look at the mint mark. Check for doubling. Study the details. And most importantly, keep it safe. Because one single 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny, with the right mint error and preserved in stunning uncirculated red condition, has sold at auction for an incredible total of $145,000. From 1 cent to a life-changing sum. That's the beauty of coin collecting. So keep your eyes open, because your next big discovery might already be in your pocket. Top 9. What if I told you that a coin made of copper, something so small and ordinary, could be worth more than a brand new luxury car? What if it was hiding in your coin jar, sitting quietly in a drawer, or passed to you in loose change without a second thought? Today, we're unlocking the mystery of the 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny, a coin that looks simple at first glance, but might just be one of the most valuable pieces of history you'll ever come across. Stay with me to the end of this video, because the truth behind this humble penny might surprise you, especially if you're a collector or someone who appreciates rare American currency. We're diving deep into the beauty, the errors, and the incredible value of the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Cent, a coin that has stunned the numismatic world with its secret potential. The year is 1954, a time when America was moving full speed ahead into a new age. Television sets were appearing in homes, Elvis Presley was about to shake up the music world, and the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of Lincoln cents as part of everyday commerce. But among these countless coins, a few stand out for reasons that still leave collectors speechless. Let's start by understanding what this coin is. The 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny features the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," arched above, "Liberty," to the left, and the date, 1954, sitting just below the bust. The reverse carries the iconic twin wheat stalks, gracefully curving along both sides of the bold lettering that reads, 1 cent, and United States of America. It was minted in 3 locations, Philadelphia, with no mint mark, Denver, with a D, and San Francisco, with an S. While hundreds of millions were struck, not all 1954 pennies were created equal. So what makes some of these coins extraordinary? The secret lies in a few powerful factors: minting errors, die varieties, planchet problems, and, above all, preservation. Let's talk about double die errors first. These are some of the most sought-after mistakes in the world of coin collecting. A double die occurs when the coin die itself is engraved incorrectly, showing a shadow-like doubling effect, often in the date, the word "Liberty," or "In God We Trust." These errors are bold, dramatic, and rare, and they instantly elevate the value of any coin that has them. Then, there are repunched mint marks, or RPMs. In 1954, mint marks were hand-punched into the dies. That manual process often led to visible overlaps where the mint mark was struck more than once in slightly different positions. These anomalies can only be seen clearly under magnification, but to a trained collector, they're golden. Some examples of the 1954 penny also exhibit off-center strikes. These occur when the planchet, the blank piece of metal, is misaligned during the minting process. The result? A coin with part of its design missing, skewed to one side. The more off-center the strike, while still showing the full date, the more valuable the coin becomes. And we can't forget about struck-through errors, coins that were minted with foreign material, like grease, cloth, or even wire, between the die and the planchet. The results are often bizarre and beautiful. Collectors love these one-of-a-kind mistakes. Now, here's a true rarity: a 1954 penny struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime, or even a foreign coin blank. These are extremely rare but known to exist, and when authenticated, they create waves at coin auctions. Let's shift to another vital point: condition. Most of the 1954 Lincoln Wheat pennies we come across today are brown, dull, and heavily circulated. Decades of handling have left their surfaces scratched, faded, and oxidized. But imagine finding a 1954 penny that is still in brilliant red uncirculated condition, the kind of color and shine it had the moment it left the U.S. Mint. Coins in mint state, especially those graded MS-65 and above, can command staggering premiums, especially if they also have errors. Imagine the value of a 1954 penny that is not only uncirculated, but also displays a doubled die, an RPM, or an off-metal strike. It's not just a coin anymore, it's a treasure. Collectors often say that Lincoln Wheat pennies are where most people begin their numismatic journey. But the deeper you go, the more exciting it gets. Each wheat cent holds its own story, but the 1954 issue, when combined with rarity and condition, tells one of the most thrilling tales in the entire Lincoln Cent series. So don't dismiss those old pennies in your collection. Take a closer look. Grab a magnifying glass. Check the color, examine the strike, look at the mint mark, and study every detail. Because one of those ordinary-looking coins might not be so ordinary after all. Now, for the part you've been waiting for. 1 Special 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny, with a dramatic error and preserved in glowing mint-state red condition, has stunned collectors by reaching a price of $135,000. That's right, from a simple copper cent to a six-figure collectible. That's the incredible journey a rare coin can take. Keep collecting. Keep searching. Because the next rare penny might just be hiding in the palm of your hand. Top 10. Imagine holding history right between your fingers. A small copper coin that once passed through the hands of Americans during a time of great change. It may seem like just a regular Lincoln wheat penny from 1953. But today, we uncover why this coin has become a legend among collectors. So if you're a coin lover, enthusiast, or simply curious about the incredible stories behind the coins in your pocket, listen very carefully. Because the 1953 Lincoln penny may be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1953. America is full of optimism. Dwight D. Eisenhower has just taken office as president. The Korean War is coming to an end. Televisions are becoming a household item. The economy is booming, and so is the production of coins by the United States Mint. Among the countless coins struck that year, one particular coin quietly entered circulation, the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny. On the surface, it looked like every other cent, made mostly of copper, just 19 millimeters across, weighing 3.11 grams. But some of these coins, because of unexpected minting flaws or perfect preservation, are now worth staggering amounts to collectors around the world. But how can something so common, a coin minted in the hundreds of millions, be so valuable? Well, let's start with what this coin really is. The obverse, or front, of the 1953 penny features the beloved portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. His profile, strong and dignified, has been a part of the cent since 1909. To the left, you'll find the word Liberty, and to the right, the year 1953. Above Lincoln's head is the timeless motto, In God We Trust. Flip it over, and you'll see two beautiful stalks of wheat, one on each side of the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. Below that, another motto, E Pluribus Unum. This reverse design is where the Lincoln penny got its nickname, the wheat penny, and it remained until 1958 before changing to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. In 1953, the penny was struck at 3 different U.S. Mint locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Altogether, over 700 million of these pennies were produced. But not all 1953 pennies are created equal. Some are far rarer than others. And those are the ones collectors dream of finding. So, what makes a 1953 penny rare and extremely valuable? There are 3 major factors: errors, variations, and condition. Let's begin with mint errors, the most exciting surprises in the world of coin collecting. Point 1: of the most desirable errors found in 1953 pennies is the doubled die. This happens when the die used to strike the coin has been accidentally engraved twice, slightly off alignment. The result? Parts of the design, like the date, Liberty, or the motto, appear doubled. This error is not only fascinating but extremely valuable. Next, you have repunched mint marks, or RPMs. During this era, mint marks were applied by hand, one by one. That means mistakes were common, and sometimes, the mint mark was punched twice in slightly different spots. For example, a 1953 S with a repunched S mint mark is considered a major variety, especially if it's bold and clear under magnification. Then come off-center strikes. Imagine a coin where the entire design is shifted to one side, some even struck 30%, 50%, or more off-center. These errors happen when the blank planchet isn't correctly aligned under the die. And if the date is still visible, collectors go wild for these. There are also struck-through errors, where grease or other foreign material interfered with the minting process. These can cause the coin to have blank patches or missing parts of the design, and again, the uniqueness makes these mistakes worth big money. Even more mysterious are coins struck on the wrong metal planchet, rare cases where a penny was mistakenly struck on a dime blank, or even a foreign coin planchet. These are extremely rare, but when authenticated, they can be worth thousands. But even without errors, The condition of a 1953 penny plays a huge role in its value. Most of the 1953 pennies still around today are dull, brown, and heavily circulated. But once in a while, someone stumbles upon a coin that's been preserved in mint state condition, with blazing red color, sharp details, and no wear. These uncirculated coins are called red Lincoln cents by collectors, and they are incredibly prized. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 65 or higher, especially with full red color, is considered a gem. And when you combine that level of preservation with a dramatic error, that's when things get truly exciting. Let's not forget die cracks, cuds, bubbled planchets, and other rare anomalies that occasionally appear in 1953 Lincoln pennies. These tiny imperfections, born from aging equipment or mistakes during striking, often transform a common coin into a collectible masterpiece. Collectors are passionate about these details because each variety tells its own unique story. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of America's history, a mistake frozen in time, and a treasure waiting to be discovered. So the next time you see a 1953 penny, don't ignore it. Pick it up. Check the mint mark. Look for doubling, off-center design, and clean red luster. You never know what you might find, because among the millions of 1953 Lincoln wheat pennies that once circulated across the country, one spectacular example, featuring a rare error and preserved in pristine mint state red condition, has amazed collectors by reaching a price of $140,000. That's right, from one humble cent to six figures. That's the magic of numismatics. That's the thrill of the hunt. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep collecting, because your next coin discovery could change everything.